Hello, welcome again to Gear Facts, and today it is the mysterious Tenori-on. It's made by Yamaha, and it was marketed very much as this massive advance in utility and design, a kind of a whole new concept in sequencing that came before grid-based things like Ableton. And I'm inclined to agree with all those early statements from Yamaha. This is a really unusual, interesting, and quite exciting concept. I'm not saying it's without its flaws, but I think it's something that every musician should try at some time in their life. Anyway, you've got the basic idea probably from looking at it. It is a grid-based system. We're going to add a few notes. That's the default sound. It's just kind of a soft ping pong ball sort of sound. If we go into the menu at the bottom here, quite hard to see, but we can slide through a series of options, go to play menu, and we can start to select some different sounds. The sounds are also gridded out on the page. Each button is a different sound, so if you can remember exactly where all your favorite sounds are, then that's great, well done. But it's also in a list right here, so as I cycle through the list, the actual XY point will change, corresponding with the particular sound I want. So let's follow the irresistible impulse of just drawing a design and seeing what kind of melody we come up with. Let's start the grid playing, put a few chords in. Nice and random. Take out the ones that are a little bit close together. They usually sound a bit awkward. Change the sound by sliding down to layer. Clear the whole screen, let's try again. And we can change our animations to several different looks as well. Here we've got squares expanding. And naturally we can change tempo. Then we can change the length of each individual sound. Most of the Tenori-on releases were capable of being powered by an adapter or by batteries. This particular one is an earlier version which is adapter only, which is a bit of a shame because it's just crying out to be a portable instrument. Discreetly flush with the main panel are 5 buttons on this side and 5 identical ones on the other side, which are shortcuts to various functions within the menu system, such as changing effects, volume, instrument type, things like that. The actual menu system is a little unwieldy. It's quite hard to get the hang of it. Also, starting and stopping your sequence from playing can only be done from the main screen. Like that. When you're actually changing things in menus, you can't start or stop. The play button becomes a select button for any particular option you're choosing. And just down the side here, we've got a cancel button to get out of whatever menu you're in and back to the main screen. As for connectivity, it's all pretty simple. We've got our DC in power there, on-off switch just discreetly there right at the bottom, micro MIDI socket here. You don't see many of those around, and I'm not sure how easy or difficult it would be to get the right cable, but it is good to know that it can MIDI up to any of your traditional electronic equipment. Headphone socket there, and on the other side, it is pleasing to see that there's a socket for an SD card to store everything that you've created. And that's pretty much it. So, how do you use the Yamaha Tenori? Well, your guess is as good as mine. It's the kind of instrument that's really only limited by your imagination, but your imagination's kind of left thinking, well, what am I supposed to do? You can accidentally come up with all kinds of interesting passages which would make good intros and fills and nice little ambient things. The sounds on board the Tenori-on are generally quite soft and ambient in nature. As for effects, it's just got chorus and reverb. They're good quality effects, but it is a little limiting to only have two there. So I guess in summing up, you could say it's a very fun and interesting tool that sits uncomfortably in the gap between serious musical instrument and a toy. But there is that MIDI link with other instruments, so if you can come up with some good ideas and riffs on the Tenori-on, then there's no reason why you can't incorporate it as a very functional and exciting part of a larger musical kit. So I hope that review has shed a little bit of light on the mysterious Tenori-on for you guys. I'd love to go into more depth about it, but that really is about all there is to say. I mean, there are a few other things in the menu options, but nothing that you wouldn't expect in any instrument of this kind, whether it's a keyboard or a MIDI module or anything like that. What makes the Tenori-on really exciting is the grid system of programming your music. So it's a really great afternoon's entertainment. It's a fun instrument. I don't know if I'd fork out the rather enormous price tag that Yamaha wants for it, but I do think it's something that everybody should try at least once in their musical span of interest. Okay, so that's enough non-committal talk about the Yamaha Tenori-on. Thanks as always for watching Gear Facts, guys. Thanks for liking, commenting or subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.